Hello, welcome to the ReT Podcast, episode 16. I am your host today, Adamonator. I have joining me, Cosa.
How's it going?
And I also have Janarama.
Hello.
Makes a change not having Marcus and Ocean in the back. they've been in a few podcasts. I think they needed a bit of a break. So I brought some people on who haven't been on for a while. We haven't talked for a while, have we, guys?
Oh, not at all.
We have not. It's been a hot second. Yeah.
Yeah. It's speaking of hot, like the weather over here in the UK has been a nightmare. We're talking like 28 to 30 degrees C. Which,
jeez,
I don't know how to convert that into Fahrenheit. Because you guys use Fahrenheit, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God's sake.
For our American audience, screw you. Do your own math.
Right. No. Screw it. I'm doing
I just so it's like 82 degrees Fahrenheit.
82 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Got it. Fair enough. So, yeah, we don't really have too much in the way of a plan today. Just talking about life stuff.
We just chilling.
Yeah, just chilling. Having a conversation.
Yeah.
Let's start with stories. So, does anyone have a story they want to tell? Something they've done in the recent months?
I have a tiny one to tell.
Sure.
A little one. All right. So this month has been a little bit wild for a bunch of artists, as many artists will know, because a thing happened called Art Fight that just started. Where you can just Art Fight. It's where you join like two different teams. This year it's vampires and werewolves. I'm a vampire.
Sure. And
you attack people by giving them art, by just drawing their characters, and they can attack you back. And just you get points for that and stuff like that. There have been animations, there have been doodles, there have been full-on paintings. Right. It's been wild. And the funniest thing is, like, the day it started, I went in because I was like super excited. I was like, okay, I got characters bookmarked. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna draw some stuff. And then the website took like 2 minutes to load up.
Oh no!
Because it was so active.
Yeah, that's a great sign.
Yeah, and then it said, "Hey, we're gonna be under maintenance for about an hour and a bit," and then it crashed like 3 times.
I love when the internet just comes together to do the stupidest stuff.
It's awesome.
It's so awesome. Cool that I'm sure we'll have like some of Janarama's art on the background.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, no, that sounds really interesting.
A few attacks that I've done.
I do like when the internet does stupid things, like Reddit doing r/place. That's always fun.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Or even like Tumblr's sexy man competitions, which are just so dumb.
Oh, I look forward to those.
The last one, I think, when Sans won, the overall final thing that went down was narrated by Toby Fox. He recorded a thing too. Yes, he did. He just recorded a narration of the exact events of how Sans and whoever else he was up against fought it out to the end.
Wow. I'm trying to think who else would make a good sexy man for it. Like if they did another one of these competitions. And one that I saw being thrown out quite a lot was Timon from Timon and Pumbaa Lion King.
Oh my god.
Apparently he gives off Tumblr sexy man energy.
I can see it, I guess. I don't know.
Oh god. What about you, Cosa, then?
I'm trying to think of anything recent.
You been up to much?
Yeah, I mean, past month I just had my birthday, so there was that.
Oh,
but
yeah!
Thank you.
Happy birthday!
24 now. But
nice.
Yeah, but no, I mean, besides that, I was a best man at one of my friend's weddings. Which,
oh, nice.
was very fun, but also pretty hectic.
I can imagine.
We had a few rental tuxes got torn. We had to stop the the groom from seeing the bride too early. It was it was a little hectic. It all worked out.
So, like, nothing too dramatic. Like, you didn't have, like, someone in the back saying, "Speak now, forever hold your peace," and some arsehole in the back going, "I object." You didn't have anything like that.
No.
You didn't get a Shrek in it, did you?
No Shrek shenanigans.
I mean, the most that happened was, a button came off of a suit, and I was like, "You're not getting that security deposit back," and then moved on with the day. But
fair enough. Did you do
we moving on.
Did you do a best man speech then? Did you?
I did, and I was like the only one that had one just going off the top of their head, and I didn't realize how much I hated public speaking until they gave me the mic. And
see, this is why you write stuff down.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, apparently it went really well. A lot of people were saying that it was like the best speech given there, so I'm happy about that.
No offense to you, cousin, but like, if you're going to a wedding and you know you're the best man is the only person who knows they're doing a speech.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I do. I'm just horrible at writing.
We don't mean to grill you. But also write a speech next time.
I will keep that advice in mind. I probably won't do it, but I'll keep it in mind.
Sounds like a plan. I remember.
Just remember, the next time you get handed a mic, we warned you.
Oh yeah. I'll vamp.
Actually, I have a wedding story from a couple of years ago. So, my uncle has only ever been married once before, and he met someone new about 4 or 5 years ago. And they got married a couple of years back. It was like one of those rustic sort of barn weddings. They decorated this barn out to be like a ceremony hall and the reception later. But one of the most embarrassing moments was when the best man hadn't said anything during the entire ceremony bit, and the moment that the priest goes, "Speak now, or forever hold your peace," that's when the best man speaks up.
Oh no!
I should also mention that the best man was their pet dog.
Oh.
Okay. Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
This dog had been silent the entire wedding, and the one time it barked was right at that moment.
Oh
boy!
We all took it as like, oh god, no, that's not a good sign. But no, they've
we better start counting the days now.
Yeah, no, they've been married ever since. They're doing well.
Nice.
So that's my wedding story, but that's not recent. I guess the only recent thing that really happened to me was that I drove 4 hours to one town to drive 4 hours all the way back, and that was fun in one day.
Oh,
been there.
Yeah, no.
It's not a fun experience.
I mean, imagine in America, it's like that's just a thing you do daily. It's just drive a couple hours.
I mean, it is, but when
sometimes.
especially in Michigan, it is constantly under construction. So
Oh gosh!
Oh god!
You wanted to go this way on this road? Nope, not anymore.
England's really bad for its roadworks as well. To the point where, during that trip, actually, so for anyone that lives in the UK, it's going to be quite known. So I was driving from Manchester to Edinburgh. I'm not going to give exact spaces because I don't want people knowing where I actually live.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's basically one long motorway. But there's it goes from a 4-lane motorway to a 3-lane and eventually a 2-lane. Not a problem. During the 2-lane motorway, there was a big trailer going down the slow lane about 40 miles an hour. It's a 70-mile-an-hour limit. Sorry.
Oh boy.
And this trailer was going 40. Not a problem. I assumed that something was going on, it was limiting its speed. The actual issue was someone was keeping pace with it in the other lane.
Oh.
And held up miles and miles and miles of traffic.
Aye.
I ended up driving. I was driving a van at the time, so like I ended up stuck behind this car for about 10 miles. Horrible thing. The motorway finally opened up into a 3-lane, and I finally got past this car. And as I was driving past to like look at the guy angrily, I realised it was an older gentleman. He was like 70s, mid 70s. Oh, okay. That's probably what it is. Is like, he's an older gentleman. So I give up and I just go on my way. Not even 10 seconds later, the bastard speeds past me at 80 miles an hour.
Of course.
I have never
he
been.
was just waiting for you.
I have never been full of hatred more than that moment.
Dude, like, he's just waiting. He's just like at this certain point, this bitch named Adam is gonna pass me.
Oh.
I need to make him as pissed off as possible. There he is.
Well, I have to ask because like I drive a van for a living, so I deliveries and stuff like that. I've always thought of like when I ever see a van like, driving around doing the job, I always let them out, like even before I started doing the van job, but. Is this just a thing where people are just mean to the van drivers?
I feel like, that in small cars, at least that's how it is in the States, where I am.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, you guys all have like massive...
trucks, man!
Massive trucks.
Yeah. What you talking about, man? I'm driving a Corolla. That's little car.
Oh god.
Tiny baby.
What are you driving, Jan? Do you drive?
I do not drive. I'm actually in the process of learning to drive. I'm getting there. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm
good luck to you.
Hopefully. Thank you.
I do not envy you driving in America. It's hard enough getting my license.
It's not fun a good amount of the time. A good amount of the time it is not fun.
Honestly, it's been a road of just one, being afraid of driving, period, a myriad of other things, and just wondering, should I even learn? Is it even worth it? Are the people on this road worth learning to drive?
I mean, depending on what state you're in, you'd be under the impression that maybe people don't need a license to drive in this.
No, I mean that's fair. Like, if you're in like New York City, you don't need to drive. You can walk somewhere and you'll be fine.
Right.
But if you're in the middle of Mississippi, you need to drive. You need to drive to be able to get away from the people firing guns at you.
Yes.
Number one reason to drive: everybody has guns.
Yeah.
I mean.
You need to escape.
You're not wrong.
We don't have that issue in the UK. We just have people with big rocks.
Oh, that's true. And knives. As the memes have taught me, knives also.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, there is a lot of knife crime in the UK. It's not as bad as people say it is. It's only really in like heavily dense cities, and even then, it's only in the rougher areas. But.
I prefer that actually.
Yeah, no, I don't live in city centres, so at most it really is just big rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And if your rock isn't big enough, get a bigger rock.
You just pick up a giant stone and just hey, fuck you.
Oh,
it's better than just being in the U.S. So just if you eye somebody wrong in some states, if you look at somebody wrong, there is a death sentence on your head. That's just it for you.
Well, I imagine like a lot of it is like if and I'm gonna be bringing race into this, and I apologize to anyone that's apologizing. I apologize to anyone that's apologizing. Anyone that's watching. But, like, I do get the impression that if you're a white guy that maybe looks at a group of black guys, or a black guy that looks at a group of white guys, there is just that sort of tension in America. It's sort of like, okay, keep your distance and we'll be alright. In the UK, it's just sort of like, hey, you have eyes. You looked at me. I'm gonna stab you.
Hey, you blinked at me 2 times. Like, that's too much, buddy.
Right.
Like, regardless of race, you are going to get stabbed if you look at someone funny.
Honestly, I prefer that.
Yeah.
No. At least there it's equal standing.
Right.
It's whoever has the bigger knife.
Yeah, at least in the UK, you know. That's.
I feel like I need to clarify. Like, guys, we don't all carry knives around in the UK. Don't go outside carrying knives. This is
disclaimer. Not all people in the UK are born with knives. The same as not all people in the US are born with guns most of the time.
Born with a knife, like just sort of like a knife as like an Assassin's Creed sort of like appendage. Just out the wrist.
There. It's like the Spider-Man web, except it's just a knife.
Anyway, so obviously with like the nature of these sort of podcasts, we end up talking about media stuff. Is anyone watching or playing anything?
Sort of.
Sort of? Or how you sort of watch or play things?
Sort of in a way. I've actually become slightly addicted to a very, 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 very niche Warrior Cats game.
What? Warrior Cats?
Yeah. Yes, Warrior Cats.
Is this on Steam?
Have you not heard of Warrior Cats?
I've never heard of Warrior Cats.
You've never? Okay, alright. So Warrior Cats is this little book series that started up like 20-some years back. About some cats that live in the woods, that fight each other sometimes, they live in clans. Cats fight each other and it's like drama and shit. A bunch of kids got addicted to them, me included.
Okay.
And 20-some years later, the books are still going, and there's a lot of fans, and it's burning down constantly. It's very fun.
I've been hearing a lot about it lately.
Yeah, it's... the books are... but the fandom's cool.
I've genuinely never heard of, like, Warrior Cats.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Are we talking, like, when you say Warrior Cats, are you talking, like, people that sort of, like... use cat metaphors, or are we talking like a literal cat in a suit of armor?
Like legitimate cats. Like these are 4-legged fuzzballs, no armor. They're just in the wild. They're just out there using their claws and scratching each other up. Some of the death scenes are really brutal.
See, that's fun. I was imagining like a tiger with a sword.
I mean, that's Thundercats.
What you've basically described is it's a paper version of a David Attenborough documentary.
However, what you described is an 80s cartoon.
Warrior Cats, oh!
So now I'm just imagining like a documentary of Warrior Cats, and here you can see that the cats have somehow acclaimed an absurd social system with actual medicine that works on multiple things that even we humans haven't been able to cure. This is actually really interesting. Is this? Are we taking note of this? This is
so weird. No, that sounds really cool. Like, obviously, I've never heard of it before, but good on people.
Right? A little while ago, some Warriors fans said, "Hey, what if we just made this like pixel cat game where you can generate your own Warriors clan?" And
I've seen that. Yeah,
really cool. Yeah, I've been playing the game for a bit. I am genuinely addicted. I have created giant stories and lore things that no one will ever see about my tiny cats that just kind of do stuff sometimes.
Cool. Right. Move on a little bit then. What about you, Kosa? Are you watching anything?
So I haven't really been watching anything, but I've recently reignited my addiction for Dungeons and Dragons. So, yeah, me and a few friends have been.
I just played a game of that yesterday with some friends, so.
Nice, yeah. Me and my friends usually get together like every Saturday or so, and we play games. It's all like homebrewed and everything. So like they've got me in charge of like, they've got me in charge of a couple of different campaigns. Like it's to the point where we make our own character sheets as well. So like right now I'm running 2 different campaigns for them. I'm running a Kingdom Hearts one, and then I'm running an Avatar: Last Airbender one. So it's homebrew stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty.
Oh yeah,
pretty
no.
fun.
Remember you talking about the Kingdom Hearts one when we were chatting in private a while ago. And
yeah,
saying, like,
they just wrapped it up. They so I like everyone in our group has like a certain DM style, and I'm the one that just kind of like lets chaos reign. So like one of these one of my party members was like, "Hey, could I ask this Moogle if he has a specific material?" And I was like, "Well, okay, you can ask him for that." He was like, "Does he have meteor?" And I was like, "Oh, all right." So I rolled for it. It was like 100%. It's like, "Yeah, he has it." And with the stuff you've gotten, you can certainly afford it. So he bought that, and then to give an idea of how this campaign ended, he went over to the world that never was and just used meteor on the castle. That was how it ended. That was how it ended.
Wow.
I love the transition from he got meteor as a material to let me tell you how this all ended the entire campaign.
It ended immediately after he was like, "I know what I'm going to do with this," and I was like, "All right." And as an epilogue, he was like, I kind of want to make my character more of the world domination type after this, and I was like, you know what? Fair.
If you can destroy an entire world, go on and dominate one. Go on.
Oh gosh, it sounds like a nightmare as a DM. It's like you build up you build up a massive dungeon with an amazing boss at the end.
Oh man,
and then it just destroys it with meteor.
I mean, it's fine because like the campaign had been going on for like a couple of years at this point, and there'd been a lot of like really cool things that happened. Like I said, I like the chaos, so like so I was totally fine with that. I mean, earlier in a previous session, they straight up destroyed Earth, so like I'm fine with that.
Oh my god!
That's all right.
Yeah, they so I added like the worlds I had were not limited to just Disney, but also Square Enix stuff. So I had a Tomb Raider world, which was essentially just Earth. Ooh. So they went to Earth. They started a small fire in the Amazon on accident, so one of them decided that they were going to use Shiva. Shiva diamond dusted the entire Amazon rainforest, destroying the ecosystem and, essentially destroying the world. So, that's how this party plays the game.
Just I'll fix it, ends everything.
Essentially.
Jesus Christ. I'm trying to think
how that party plays the game.
Trying to think of the most chaotic thing that happened in one of my games. Not Kingdom Hearts related, but just normal D&D. And I think one of the dumbest things that I ever did was we were in it was like a dead end hallway, and there were several pressure plates on the floor, which we activated and managed to avoid arrow traps. I managed to get to the other end of the room, where there were 4 goblets made of different materials and a big shallow bowl filled with a green liquid. Now, my character is a green dragonborn who is resistant to poison. So my first thought was, I'm gonna drink that.
Right. It's pretty low stakes,
so
you might as well.
I drank a goblet of this liquid. Turns out it was poison, and I still took damage, but not as much as anyone else would. And seeing nothing else in the room, I thought, this bowl is probably attached to this pillar, and if all the liquid is gone from it, a door's going to open. So I sat there, drinking poison, for about 2 minutes. Every single drop, nothing happened.
My God. Oh my god.
I'm like, what on earth is going on? The only reason I thought it was like, oh, you had to drink something. You know, Harry Potter.
Sit in a dungeon room and actively drink poison.
Well, no. So I drank this entire bowl of poison. Nothing happened. Like, no door opens. Like, I'm feeling sick. Like, what the hell is going on? I turn around. All my teammates have already disappeared. I'm like, what on earth is going on?
Huh?
My teammate sticks his head from round a pillar and is like, oh yeah, we found a secret door. We didn't tell you because we were laughing too much at you drinking fucking poison.
Oh my god! That's D&D for you.
And the worst part about the whole thing is that, like, I'm talking like 40 sessions later, we end up going onto a train, which the payment is, you have to tell the quartermaster, the train master, a story. Something that's real, something that happened. Just tell him a story. And as soon as you tell the story, you have to make a save. And upon which, if you fail, you forget that story ever happened.
Oh.
I didn't know this, so I told the story of me drinking the poison.
Oh, boy.
And then when it was revealed that, you know, if you fail to save, you lose the memory, I actually asked my DM, I said, can I actively choose to fail this save? I do not want to remember this. He said,
please.
No, you succeeded to save. You still remember the embarrassing time when you drank a bowl of poison.
You just get to keep that in your memory bank. It's character development.
Oh yeah. Like, I feel like every campaign has like embarrassing moments like that. Like even like with my like Kingdom Hearts campaign, we had a time where one person's have different classes based on different organizations. 13 members. One person was doing like a Zigbar kind of class.
Okay.
And they we were, I forget what world it was. I think it was Radiant Garden. We were fighting one of the bosses. And this person was like, oh yeah, you know, watch this. I'm gonna, you know, do something real cool or whatever. They jumped off this thing to try to do some like cool like action hero shot or whatever. And they rolled a double nat 1. Now for those who don't know what a double nat 1 means in D&D, it means you die. So, so they essentially were, like, got up on this platform, said, watch this, and then jumped off and died.
That isn't necessarily death. Like, nat 1 doesn't mean death.
Gosh.
Well, yeah, well, in 3.5. In 3.5, they have it set up where if you do it, yeah, that's the system they run off if they don't do 5e or anything.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
In 3.5, it's a double nat 1. You're dead. And yeah.
I'm just imagining the Futurama move. Do a flip.
They essentially were like, watch this, and then jumped off into like a bottomless pit. And was just never heard from again.
Ooh, wait! I have a bit of a D&D story of how I traumatized my players.
Oh, sure.
It was a simple little tiny what was supposed to be a one-shot homebrew campaign. It was players going after the mafia, whatever. But there was a point when I surrounded them with like shrubs that were alive for story reasons, and one of them like looked at the names that I had named them because it was on a Roll20, and he was like, "Shoob, its name is Shoob. I'm adopting the shrub," and he did, and it just became their pet for the rest of the campaign. As they went up to fight battles, they were like, "Is Shoob okay? Yeah, all right," and just went back to what they were doing.
Oh boy!
And during all of this, I had this thought of, I know what I need to do with this shrub. I know exactly what I need to do. When they came to the final fight against this, like, mecha dragon thing, it attacked one of the players. No, the player that was closest to Shoob, with an attack that would have killed him if Shoob had not jumped in front of him.
Oh no!
Yep, and I described how the hit didn't even really hit the hit shoe, it just sliced him and he turned into leaves and twigs. And all of my players just became bloodthirsty. They tore that dragon to shreds.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you don't mess with the party's favorite NPC.
You just don't. Right.
I mean, as the DM, yes, we do mess with their favorite NPC.
Oh, we do.
But
it's so like, it didn't even do anything. It just pretended to eat a sandwich once, and they were like, "This is the most precious thing in the universe."
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I love it when parties get attached to stuff like that. Like I had a Moogle in my campaign that behaved like a mob boss, and they were like, "Yeah, we want him around."
He's coming with us.
Yeah.
Oh, I had that in my campaign where I set up a single a random encounter. It was a random encounter of a bugbear who was a woodcutter, and if they helped him move some trees, that was the end of the thing. He'd give him a couple of coins, and that was it. But because of the doofy voice that I gave him, they grew attached to him. But like, I was so hesitant to leave him behind that I was like, okay, fine, I'll bring him back at some point. And he has just become a regular part of the campaign. He doesn't travel with them, but like every so often, like I think he called him Doug the bugbear. So every so often, he goes, hey guys, just cutting some trees over here. Do you mind giving me a hand?
Every cameo needs a Doug the Bugbear cameo at least once.
Anyway, so I actually wanted to talk about Kingdom Hearts stuff. Surprise! Kingdom Hearts podcast.
Yeah.
What?
So
How did I do that?
we usually do a thing on the podcast, not all the time, but we like to throw out hypothetical world ideas for future Kingdom Hearts games. And with Disney acquiring a lot of properties in the last 10 years, it's opened the floodgates for what we can include. So I'm going to throw out... We've had, in the past of the podcast, we talked about Moana, we talked about Encanto, King of the Hill, Muppets. Here is my pitch for Kingdom Hearts 4. First off, a mechanic that I want to be brought back. So, do you remember in Kingdom Hearts 3 that if you equipped certain abilities, your finisher could involve your party members? So, like, at the end, like, if you do a full combo, and then your finisher is Donald jumps in and you spin fire around or something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
I want that to be improved on, where it's not just finishes with Sora, but it's finishes with other party members. So if Donald does a certain finisher, he'll do a combo with Goofy, or party members of the world. Another mechanic, I kind of like the idea. I liked that you can have all 5 party members in the party at once in Kingdom Hearts 3, but it did feel a little bit too... Not much, but it felt like there wasn't much choice. It's like, you have to have Sully and Mike in your party.
You need to have them
you need them in your party.
You don't have a choice.
Exactly. So I like the idea of having 3 or 4 party members available from a world, but you can only have a maximum of 2.
Okay.
So it still brings in... So Donald and Goofy are locked into the team. They can't be moved out. But you can choose any 2 of the other party members. And, you know, if like a Simpsons world, you could have like Homer and Bart, or Bart and Lisa, or Lisa and Homer, that sort of thing.
Alright, okay.
We might talk about a Simpsons world in the future, but what I want to talk about, and this is the dumbest idea that I've ever come up with, a Family Guy world.
Oh my...
Oh my god.
And here is my thinking. So, Kingdom Hearts is age rated about a 12 or teen, right. I think it's called in America.
Yeah, whereas, it's like Peggy 12, right?
Yeah, whereas Family Guy I think is rated 15, or I don't know what it is over there. You could dumb down Family Guy a little bit so it was a 12, but I would prefer aging up the Kingdom Hearts games to a 15. It would allow for like other worlds, like like a Deadpool to be in there, and you can still have the crass nature in there without being excessively dulled down for it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my pitch for party members in a Family Guy world. Peter Griffin, and he's the only Griffin. He's the only Griffin family member. The other two would be Ernie the Giant Chicken.
Oh my god!
And for some reason, Greased Up Deaf Guy.
Greased Up Deaf
Guy? Huh?
The Greased Up Deaf Guy. Now here's my thinking.
Very odd picks, but I'll hear you out.
That's very specific.
No, but here's my thinking of why it would work. So imagine if you've got Peter in your team and you have Ernie the Giant Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
You've played multiverses before, right?
Uh-huh.
You know Tom and Jerry?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see where you're going with this. Okay.
The way that Tom and Jerry work in multiverses is that you're playing as Tom, and you're just trying to catch Jerry. It just so happens that Velma or Superman can get in the way.
Right. Okay.
So the two of them are always fighting each other, but other characters just get in the way all the time.
Okay.
So what I'm suggesting is that you have Sora, Donald, Goofy, and then Peter and the Chicken are fighting all the time.
All of the time.
It just so happens that Heartless are getting in the way.
Anytime a battle pops up, they just appear.
Because if you think about it, in the chicken fights in the show, how many, like who's out of the two is the one that gets hurt the most? Trick question. It's neither of them because hundreds of people around them die. So it makes perfect sense that the Heartless would just be collateral.
No.
They're fine.
Like break bones. Like other people die.
And the thing
is, perish.
I'm remembering.
And the thing is, Kingdom Hearts
like car crashes.
Kingdom Hearts has done this in the past. Do you remember the? It was the three-way fight between Sora, Donald, and Goofy, Classic Pete, and Modern Pete in that world.
Yeah.
So Classic Pete, when he's fighting, is technically Classic Pete and Sora, Donald, and Goofy as a team. But Classic Pete will not hesitate to attack you guys if you happen to be in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm suggesting. Maybe not to the extent of Peter and the Chicken attacking you guys, but they're just always attacking the Heartless.
We gotta nerf them a bit in order for you to actually be able to play the game.
And then here's where Greased Up Deaf Guy comes in.
Oh boy.
So what I'm imagining for this is obviously you'd only have the Peter and the Greased Up Deaf Guy. You wouldn't have the Chicken. But the idea is that Peter is always trying to catch the Greased Up Deaf Guy, and when he catches him, he pulls him into a bear hug, squeezes, the grease lets him slip, and he launches off, and he becomes like a rocket.
Oh my gosh! He just shoots off.
Yeah. So it's like Peter's using the Greased Up Deaf Guy as a weapon.
So what I'm hearing is the combinations here: Greased Up Deaf Guy and Chicken doesn't do much at all. Just just
here's
members.
Here's where the perfect Family Guy comedy would come in.
Oh no!
So I might be wrong. the chicken and Greased Up Deaf Guy have never talked to each other in the show. I might be wrong there. Someone feel free to comment talk to me in the comments, but under the assumption that they've never talked to each other, I like the idea that away from the Griffins, the chicken and the Greased Up Deaf Guy share are like colleagues in an office. They just happen to know each other. Like, maybe like the chicken's in sales and the Greased Up Deaf Guy's in marketing. And just the idea of like them fighting using office supplies. Like they pull like a printer out out of the hammer pocket.
This Greased Up Deaf Guy pulls out stapler gun.
Exactly. But it only happens when those two are in the party. If Peter's there, that doesn't happen.
Okay, alright, so Greased Up Deaf Guy and Chicken. You get the office supply special.
Yes.
Greased Up Deaf Guy and Peter Griffin. You get Peter Griffin beating up anybody who's in his way of chasing Greased Up Deaf Guy.
Yeah.
And the occasional rocket move that's bound to kill
Peter will sometimes catch the Greased Up Deaf Guy, but it's like a finisher.
Right.
Where he gets out and he gets launched into the enemies.
Right. And then we have Peter Griffin and Chicken, which is actually a threat upon not just the Heartless, but yourself. So that's just good luck. That's the good luck combination.
And I like to think that the only reason that those three are chosen and not like Chris or Stewie or Brian or Lois and Meg is because the story of that world is that the entirety of Quahog is either missing like the Toy Story world, or they don't remember those three. Something like that. That would be the story of that world.
Okay. Alright, not remembering could play into the whole, memories are tied to the heart.
Yeah,
stuff.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
I guess, or then again, it might be a fun idea because I think Kingdom Hearts 4 is going for the idea of an afterlife or death is going to be the topic. And the first season of Family Guy, I think most of those episodes were supposed to be around the idea of death.
Right.
And I think in the first season, that's when the chicken and Greased Up Deaf Guy were first introduced. So they were the most iconic characters really early on.
Yes, that's even more reason to put them in.
Exactly.
Honestly, first thought I had when you were like, oh, it's surrounding death and stuff, it was just, Brian, look out! That was the first thought I had.
Oh no! No, don't you? Oh. Oh, Jan, that's...
I had to.
Yeah, I know you had to, but Jan, that's so dark. Oh, God. So,
actually...
Yeah,
thoughts? My thought is with that kind of extra combo of three characters you can have.
Yeah.
Makes me think, like, I don't remember the world that I brought up one time, but I did Ice Age.
I do remember you bringing up Ice Age, yes.
Yeah. Of course, like, the obvious choices would be, Manny, Sid, and Diego.
Of course,
and I'm wondering, like, could there be anyone else? Like the little two annoying brothers, Ed and
the possums.
The possums.
I feel like if you're going to have Ice Age in a world, it's going to be the first movie.
Right. Right.
But to be fair, having Manny, Diego, and Sid is enough. But like the idea of like it would be like the Monsters Inc. world where they're trying to return the baby, or they're trying to return Boo, that sort of thing. And then it gives the weird Tumblr people another reason to hate the baby for some reason.
Yay!
I don't know what that was about a few years ago, but for some reason everyone just decided to. The Ice Age baby. We hate that one.
everyone agreed that the baby's kind of ugly. Just everyone simultaneously had the same brain activity of, oh, that's really ugly.
A 3D human animation. This is like, not too far along from when we had Toy Story 1 humans.
That's what I was going to say, like, the baby looks a lot better than Toy Story 1 Andy. It looks a lot better than Toy Story 2 Andy.
Oh yeah, Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2 Andy were just everybody.
Oh, oh yeah, it wasn't one of Andy's friends just Andy in a wig?
Yes, they were all Andy.
Everyone was Andy. One of them wasn't Andy? You're wrong.
Yeah, it was all to save on resources, wasn't it?
Yeah, the only ones that weren't Andy were Sid and his sister.
Yeah.
They really were the only humans, weren't they? I think even his mom was in the first movie, wasn't it?
Well, his mom was there, just you only saw the back of her head.
That was it.
Contrary to popular belief, she was also Andy.
Well, no, her mom...
right.
Andy's
if she would have turned around, she would have just been Andy.
Andy's mom was in the second movie, because she's the one that picks up Woody when he's damaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the sister was in there too. But, yeah.
The little sister was in that one, because I remember seeing a baby girl and it freaked me the hell out. And obviously in Toy Story 3 they're all older, so the little girl was obviously older.
Yeah.
But early animation. I'm trying to think of a movie. What would you say is the earliest movie that did humans right? I would say the first movie that made a human look good is Shrek. We're talking like 3D animation, not 2D animation.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back.
Like Princess Fiona and Lord Farquaad, they look good.
They look good.
Yeah.
As far as it goes, they're a little dated, but they still hold up.
But then again, isn't that the year when they had Boo as well? And Boo looked really, really good.
Yeah, Boo looked fun.
But when was The Incredibles? Was that before or after Monsters Inc? I don't know.
Google.
Incredibles came out in 2004.
That was 2004, and Monsters Inc. No, Monsters Inc. came first, 2001.
It was before.
Oh, damn.
So probably either Shrek or Monsters Inc. is probably the first movie that had made humans look good.
Mm.
Okay, Shrek came out in 2001.
Yeah, it was the same year because Shrek beat out Monsters Inc. for best animated picture that year.
Mm.
Okay. Alright. So, which one do you think looks better? Lord Farquaad and Fiona? or Boo? Tell us down in the comments.
Oh god. If I had to genuinely pick between the two, I think stylistically Fiona looks better. Farquaad's supposed to look a bit weird. But Fiona on her own, she looks fine, if a little plasticky. I think
a little plasticky.
Boo looks pretty good. Like the skin doesn't look too plasticky. You can fully believe. I think what helps is that they actually had a little girl voice Boo, and I think that sort of helps with the believability of this is a child.
This pack of polygons is human.
Compared to like Toy Story 1 Sid, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
He looked as bad as some of the toys built.
He was made to make nightmares, and boy did he.
Oh god.
And, ooh! Can we talk about recent animation? Can we talk about recent animation? All right, Spider-Verse.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Man. That
It looks
Movie of the year for me.
Before we talk about it, am I right in saying that all three of us have watched it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah!
Disclaimer, and I'm going to put a timestamp on the screen. Spoilers for this movie because I want to talk spoilers.
Everything is going to be spoiled.
Yeah. Okay. Here's your 5-second warning. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my god, that
ending!
I need the new movie now. I know they're taking their time with it, and that's fine, but I need it now.
I love the tiny details. I love the tiny details with the differences between Miles' universe and Earth 42. Like the way that things are colored and shaded and just it makes my animator brain fucking happy.
Yeah, and I need to go back and watch it again because I know I didn't spot all the Spider-Man cameos that I.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's that all the Spider-Man cameos, only like 20 or 30 of them are real Spider-Man from the comics. The other
but then you got
the other 200 were created for the movie.
You got ones that were created for the movie. I saw him back there. You got PlayStation 1 Spider-Man back there.
Right.
The Lego Spider-Man world was
Lego Spider-Man.
Did you know that?
14-year-old.
It was animated by a 14-year-old. I'm just
that 14-year-old. I'm sitting here like, what am I doing with my life?
Excuse me. What do I do now? I cried.
I legitimately, when I saw that Lego Spider-Man bit, I thought, oh, they got the Lego movie guys to do that. That's quite a cool night, wasn't it? I genuinely thought it was them.
It was literally the kid that made the fan animation of the trailer in Lego, and Sony was like, "We like that. Come animate a scene for us."
Oh my god. Oh god!
I like how everyone's constantly pondering what every Spider-Man's canon event was. Like I recently saw people like, "That Spider-Man plush. What was his canon event?"
What was his canon event?
And everyone, and like everyone's
Spider Pop, ice cream spider.
Yep, the ice pop. Yeah.
What was
about
Peter Parked Car's version of Uncle Ben?
Man,
was it like a scooter?
Gosh.
Yeah.
I just love seeing like the tiny things. Like I remember, I saw in the back like a little Spider-Man that just had like the word thing above his head. And I was like, "Hey, you spotted me?" And I was like, "I know what that's referencing. It's referencing those little book things. There was a bunch of Spider-Man.
I think the only one that I was a little disappointed didn't appear was Spiders-Man.
I was hoping to see Spiders-Man. I really was.
Because Spiders-Man wasn't it a horror comic that they made?
It kinda.
Well, the idea was the.
Well, no. So there were two different Spiders-Men. There's the one that's made of like hundreds of spiders, which is not so much a horror thing. Right. And there's the one where it was a kid that was like abused by his Uncle Ben, and that one was the horror one. But
what?
Okay.
Yeah. So that version of Spider-Man, I forget what his name was, but he was abused by his Uncle Ben. And then you got
I'll put trigger warnings on the screen, but like
and like he ended up getting the spider powers, and he essentially ate everybody. But
Jesus,
gosh,
I assumed that Spiders-Man, like the one which was the hundreds of spiders, I assumed that one was the horror one because the origin of that is that Peter Parker falls into a vat of radioactive spiders, and the spiders consume him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit. From what I remember, I think it's a little more body horror in that sense. But like, besides that, he's just a hero. They are.
My pronouns are they them, not because that's my gender, but because I'm literally 1,000 fucking spiders.
Exactly.
I did like Spider-Punk. It was because. If I'm not mistaken, he was animated on 3s, wasn't he?
Yeah, like it took years just to animate him.
His guitar is animated on 4s, and those 2 rules were broken at any time because it's Hobie and he hates rules.
He hates labels. Yeah, I love like him and Scarlet Spider were probably my favorite ones, mainly because Scarlet Spider was just making fun of the '90s.
Which one was Scarlet Spider again?
Scarlet Spider was he's the one with like the blue hoodie like chest piece, and then
that one.
Oh yes.
Okay, that one I did not. Okay.
Yeah, Ben Reilly's pretty cool.
Oh yes.
And I loved because I picked up on it immediately. I loved that they brought back the voice actors for Spectacular Spider-Man and for the Insomniac Spider-Man for their little bits.
Also, can we talk about Donald Glover's cameo as Prowler?
Yes,
dude. Yeah, I love that apparently was like our first look at live action Prowler, and I'm like, wait, really?
No, so it's not confirmed that he's going to be playing the Prowler in any live action sense. But the reason they got him specifically was because it was referenced in the first Tom Holland movie.
Well, yeah, right. He's Uncle Aaron.
He is the Uncle Aaron from that universe, so that's why they got him to do that. But it's not. It's confirmed. Also. I think they have said that they're going to be getting a new Spider-Man after Tom Holland for the MCU, but whether or not that's Miles Morales, who can say?
It's also cool that they have him in there because the whole reason Miles even exists as a character is because of Donald Glover.
Wait, really?
Yeah. The whole reason that Miles was even made was because Donald Glover appeared in, like, I think it was some skit as, like, a Spider-Man fan or whatever, and they were like, oh, yeah, let's do that.
Oh, shit!
Yeah.
That's awesome!
Yeah. He actually was the first person to ever voice Miles as well in, what was it, Ultimate Spider-Man or something like that? Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's really cool that they keep him involved in anything that involves Miles.
Can I just say, Donald Glover, he's a fucking treasure.
He is. He honestly is.
He's getting to the point where it's like, no matter what Donald Glover appears in, he's going to be like, as Cinema Wins would put it, he is always a win.
Yes.
I don't think
no matter what he's in.
Is there anything bad that Donald Glover's been in where he's also bad?
Not that I've seen.
I don't think there is.
He's gold in anything he does. In his music, in his acting career, in his comedy.
Yeah.
He does not miss. He does not miss.
Going back to Across the Spider-Verse, I loved the Spider-Man India.
Yes.
I loved that. I loved him. I loved it. Yes. I was worried that it might get a little bit stereotypical, but they did it justice.
There was a reason for that. Because when they cast him, they came to the voice actor.
Yeah.
And said, "Hey, we want to do this right. So could you tell us about your culture?" And then we'll just put that. Oh shit!
So they actually spoke to him and said he basically wrote that bit.
Yeah, they did. Same with Kobe. When he was like, "Are you sure you guys want me to like say just whatever when I'm voice acting this dude?" And they were like, "Yes."
His whole for the Spider-Man India, his whole like swinging style is based off of that culture too.
It's all his whole martial art.
like with the yo-yo thing that he uses.
Well, not even that, just how he swings is based off of that.
I'm trying to think because I know that
just his entire style.
Yep, and his whole like design there is such an improvement over his design in the comics.
Is it really?
Yes, it is insane.
The only bit that was a little bit like, okay, this feels a little bit weird, but I'm gonna give it time was the design and idea of Mumbattan. I was a little bit like, okay, it's known that India's been. It's known that India is quite a densely packed area.
This is where the traffic is, and the traffic's here.
This is the traffic's here. This is where we have the traffic. Here we have some traffic, and this is why the British don't want our stuff.
Yeah.
That's when I was sold.
Yeah, exactly.
But I loved the chai bit, the chai tea bit.
Yes. So I love that, not just because of that, like finally like nailing that down for everybody to stop saying chai tea, but also that it parallels with what Miles said at the beginning of the movie about ATM machines.
Yes!
Right! Gosh, he just shoots even more that he's out of his element.
I'll be surprised.
His whole bit with Spot where he's like, oh, let me guess, you're on he's on a journey of self-improvement. He's like, oh, so you came to India. Yeah.
Speaking of the Spot, how cool is that villain?
I love him.
I was not expecting that. Like, I wasn't expecting him to be the main threat.
No, right. I expected him to be like a joke villain that was maybe brought back at the end, but he became the main villain in Mombasa.
He very quickly became a problem. It was like,
oh yeah.
The second he started hopping dimensions, I was like, oh no, he's a problem. Okay.
Yeah.
See, is the moment when he really truly figured out his portals. He went from like kind of knowing how to use them to get the ATM
going into the Venom universe,
and then just and then just going into the collider room, just portal opens up straight in. Give it to you, give it to you, give it to you. I'm in. Here we go, and just oh my gosh!
And the whole score for that movie is amazing. And I love that apparently they're going to be doing a showing, I think, in the next few months, where it's going to be accompanied by a live orchestra.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes!
Oh, I'm going to be so jealous of everyone that gets to see that.
I know. So.
We can't talk about Spider-Verse without talking about Miguel. We just can't.
Miguel O'Hara, yeah.
I liked him. I liked him, but it made me hate the character, which was kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, I think Miguel is supposed to be not misunderstood, but I think he's like, I think the idea is that like they're setting up the idea that yes, there are canon events, but it's not necessarily that destroys the universe.
Yeah,
I think Matt Pat actually did a theory video on it where
like how there's something else going on here.
Well, it's not that canon events are being mistreated. It's that incursions are happening.
Yeah, it's just being in the wrong universe.
Yeah, being in the wrong universe is what causes the universes to both collapse in on each other.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that Miguel O'Hara went into a different universe and just existed there. That's what caused his world to collapse.
I'd say I love that Miguel's motivation is understandable.
Yeah.
Like it's like, hate the guy for going after Miles, but also, I can't, like, bro's been through some shit. I can't argue against this. I can't.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, Miguel's always been, like, kind of one of the more harsher Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well, the thing, isn't the whole movie supposed to be an allegory of, like, the fact that people hated Miles Morales when he was first created?
Yeah.
Because people
I think so.
No, Spider-Man's supposed to be Peter Parker. He's supposed to do this.
Not my Spider-Man.
It's like,
this ain't my Spider-Man.
Miles Morales is a completely different character. He's not supposed to have an Uncle Ben that dies. He's not necessarily supposed to have a Gwen Stacy he doesn't fall in love with. He's just going to write his own fucking story.
Right.
And we're gonna
I'm gonna do my own thing.
Exactly. That's what the whole. That's what the whole point of that fight on the space elevator was.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I'm genuinely looking forward to Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Same. I know that it's probably going to be delayed a bit just because of like how long it takes to animate that. I doubt
it's supposed to be 9 months.
Well, yeah, I know that they said that it's supposed to be next year, but I doubt that.
I reckon
that
I reckon they've been working on it at the same time as working on this.
Probably.
I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have, but like man, like I know the conditions that they've been working in and everything, at least from what they've been saying, and it's like I doubt it's going to be next year. I feel like it's going to be 2020,
I know,
like 2025 at least.
Yeah.
Oh no! I know I've heard news. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but like some animators like walked out.
Yeah. Some of them really didn't like how that stuff was. Like how they were conducting the whole process, where it was like, we have this, where like they set it up. From what I heard, it sounds like they were setting it up as, all right, we're gonna have the animators fully render a scene instead of doing like a storyboarding thing, but fully render a scene and then see if we need to change anything. Which if you know how 3D animation is, that is a process. That is a process.
Well, even something like for me doing like my editing and things like that, it takes. But this podcast is going to be about an hour long, a little bit longer. It's actually just gone over an hour. But I know that this video is going to take about an hour and a half to render. Right. So that's like if you went and rendered this whole thing and then like had to bring it to someone to critique it, and they're like, "All right, change everything." Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's such a waste of time. I would rather get it all done correctly during the editing process, and then render it for the final bit. Having them render an animation which is 10 times more complicated than what I'm doing.
Right, and considering that it took years to animate Spider-Punk alone.
Yeah.
And you have to fully render those scenes and then change something. Like, I don't imagine that they were paid for all the time that took.
It's the modeling, it's the rigging, it's the stylizing, it's the figuring out which styles mesh and which don't, it's the colorizing, setting all of that in, and then getting, actually, we don't need this scene. Fuck you!
Right. You make those changes in the storyboarding process, not when they present you with a fully rendered, even if it's not even finished. If it's a fully rendered product, you don't make changes there.
You don't. You take what you get, and you don't cry about it.
We are going to stop talking about this because this is something that's a little bit above our pay grade, which is nothing.
Yeah.
We're gonna end this episode right here.
All right.
Okay, outro music is time to play. We need to come up with a title. What should we come up with?
Oh gosh, what did we say? New cast.
We talked about Family Guy. We talked about D&D. We talked about Spider-Verse.
Across the Disneyverse. I don't know.
Across the Disneyverse.
Spider-Griffin.
Spider-Griffin.
Spider-Griffin. Leave that as the title. And have everybody constantly wondering, oh gosh, when does this pop up? When does Spider-Griffin emerge? And become You got duped.
No, we haven't got duped. We mentioned it here. It's fine.
Oh, no.
There it is.
Oh, now, see, that should have been a thing. They should have had a cameo of, like, Peter Griffin in a Spider-Man costume. In Spider-Verse.
Lois, remember that time that I was in the Spider Society?
No, but like Family Guy have had a Spider-Man.
They have.
Spider-Man. Everyone gets one.
They do. Yep, they do have a Spider-Man. Everybody gets one. Tell them, Peter, everybody gets one.
I'm calling it now. Beyond the Spider-Verse, I want just one moment where there is a Spider-Man who rescues. Like Miles Morales falls into a situation where genuinely there is no way for him to escape unless there's some sort of stupid
Family Guy Spider-Man.
And then Family Guy Spider-Man turns up and goes, everybody gets one, and then pisses off.
I would actually love that. I would actually love that.
Final question I have to ask. Which version of Spider-Verse did you guys see?
What?
So, there are multiple versions in theaters right now.
Yeah.
How so? What makes it
so
different?
Like there's different scenes.
There's
different jokes. Yes, they've confirmed that there are at least like 3 different versions of the movie going around right now.
Oh, for God's sake!
You will never know which one you're watching until you're watching it.
I'm wondering which one is gonna be like the permanent one.
I feel like the home release has got to have like 3 discs.
What are the multiple jokes? Like what are the jokes that are swapped out?
I know there's one with Riley Spider-Man.
Yep, there's one where he
in a headlock, and there's one where he's like, "Right now, I'm using my bicep to constrict your," and then he gets popped off.
Well, yeah, so
I don't know what else he says.
Well, yeah, so there's 2 different versions of that scene in certain runs of the movie. Where one of them he says that, and the other one he says something else.
I think he says like, "I'm holding you in my strong, muscular body."
That's the one I saw. I saw the one where he's like, "Yeah, I'm holding you in my strong, muscular."
Okay, I saw the constricting one.
Okay.
I think I saw the muscular one, but I can't remember.
All right.
Yeah, because there are a few other differences than that, like different appearances and everything. So, like it's nuts that this movie has a multiverse, but.
Multiverse movie has a multiverse. What is happening?
Actually, going back to Spider-Verse a second, I did like that they had a lot of nods towards Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
Like the simple fact that the spot exists because of a bagel.
Yep.
Is enough.
The bagel effect.
The bagel
effect.
Anyway, I'm gonna call it there.
Hi.
Anything else you want to say, guys, right at the end?
Not really.
Jan, you're going to work on the song, aren't you?
Yes.
We've been trying to do a full version of Complicated and Messy for about a year now.
Yep. About a year.
we need to do that. Cosa, I don't think there's anything we're relying on you for.
You're fine.
I'm just kind of here. Yeah.
You're just doing your own thing. It's fine.
Yeah. I do figure reviews now, so I kind of just do that on the side.
You do what? Reviews, sorry.
I do figure reviews on the side.
Oh, very nice.
That's true.
Fair enough.
That's true.
Yeah, I think we'll call it there. All right. Thank you for watching, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, peeps. Bye-bye.
Take care.